Many well-meaning activists and people are raising awareness about the issues our world and humanity are facing. That is definitely needed and necessary. However, what is important to understand is that everything we see on a global 3D level, the ongoing wars, atrocities, oppression, loss of freedom, surveillance, corporate greed, fluoride in the water, geoengineering, chemtrails, pharmaceuticals, vaccinations, religious and political corruption, sexual pathologies, racism, mainstream media and entertainment mind control, transhumanism, AI, and so forth, are the creation of or heavily influenced by occult, hostile forces that have been ruling over humanity for thousands of years, using their human puppets to carry out their agenda in classic divide and conquer fashion on unseen levels. Their primary goal and agenda is, and always has been, to keep humanity locked in a frequency prison, feeding off of all the emotional luge that is created through the suffering, polarization, drama, chaos, and fighting between humans, be it on a global level via wars or through interpersonal conflict in everyday life. Divide and conquer. It's about keeping us in a perpetual disembodied state of fear, physical survival, and limited five-sensory perception and indulgence, disconnected from the deeper wisdom of our bodies and our divinity within. Have you ever wondered why there are always wars, atrocities, and various control mechanisms throughout human history, but nothing really changes? It just rearranges with different faces and disguises. Like in a prison cell, the tapestry changes, but the invisible prison is still there. People say, it's just human nature and ego. But have we ever truly questioned the term human nature and everything that we have been told about humanity? We are GMOs. Genetically modified by hyperdimensional alien forces who are the real architects of the Matrix. They see Earth and humans as their property and farm, raising us like cattle to be fed upon. Society and modern official culture as we know it is for the most part an alien-infused creation and not human. It is Wetico in action. These occult hostile forces, who have been given various names throughout the ages, written about in ancient esoteric teachings, have also infused us with dogmatic religious beliefs and are behind the corrupted pop spirituality of the New Age religion, an alien virus, its pathology that has become normalized. Only focusing on the 3D manifestations of the Matrix will never bring about real positive change, nor will it happen through any of the Matrix institutions. It doesn't matter who you blame or focus on within the 3D level of the Matrix: government, Illuminati, Zionists, Jesuits, bankers, or any corrupted political corporate figure. They are all puppets themselves. Understanding the hyperdimensional matrix control system is critical in this day and age for anyone who wants to awaken and have a better world. Sincere self-work and deprogramming ourselves from consensus reality is also part of it to connect with our divine nature, your sovereign embodied true self, to transcend the mutant matrix. This is the great work. It is not an easy path, for it entails facing our fears, wounds, traumas, and questioning our deep-rooted social and cultural conditioned beliefs and programs. Disillusionment is an inevitable part of the process. Fighting governments and the psychopathic elite on a 3D level alone will not bring an end to wars and suffering, for the elite themselves are just pawns and puppets of hyperdimensional negative forces that fully occupy them. Voting, and therefore giving consent to be ruled over, and believing in the religion of government is also an archonic mind control construct, including the major world religions. They are designed to keep people imprisoned out of their own free will and disconnected from their own inner spiritual authority as they give their power away and become authoritarian followers, always looking outside for solutions and saviors, be it politicians, spiritual, religious leaders, technology, or even aliens that are supposed to defeat the Cabal, the New Age Savior program. Just focusing on ecological environmental issues, GMOs, climate change and so forth, will also never bring about a better world in the long run, for it is just fighting the symptoms. Again, most of what we see as problems to be solved on a 3D level are the manifestations of occult forces that have been ruling over and working through humanity for eons. They act through the shadows and work through us, hidden behind a veil outside our five-sensory perception. It is in their interest to distract us from what is going on, to keep us imprisoned in a frequency prison, locked in 3D physical survival mode and fighting shadows on the wall. Ignorance is not bliss, nor does it serve as a protection. The hyperdimensional adverse forces influence all of us to varying degrees. People who don't understand how the unseen manipulation and control operates, not only in the world at large, but through their own minds, can be used as unconscious matrix agents played like pawns on a grand chessboard without their awareness whatsoever. Don't get distracted by the shadows on the wall. I'm not implying to ignore the 3D issues of our world, but seeing them in the context of a much larger picture. The key to transcending the matrix is not only knowledge of what the matrix is beyond its 3D manifestation, but most importantly, sincere esoteric self-work, shadow work, healing our wounds and traumas, for they are the entry points through which the adverse forces manipulate us. Hence, these occult forces also have a teaching function from the higher perspective of the evolution of consciousness. It is essential not to fall into the victim blame trap, for that is a very disempowering lower state of consciousness these forces want us to get stuck in.